have to have your photographs taken when you have your eyebrows microbladed. So yes, this is something that people are very fearful, particularly anybody who is shy or retiring, and they're fearful that I'd actually put their photographs up on social media. They may not have told family, they may not have even told their partner, but they don't want the wider audience to know. And so the answer to this is typical now, but it's yes and no. So yes, you have to have your photographs taken. I use a digital tool to measure your symmetry of your face, and I have to use that. I use it also for before and after. They're the photographs that I send the client via WhatsApp on the day the work is being done, so that they can see the before, the portrayed measurement, the one that she's agreed to, and the after photograph well, and they really just love that. Those photographs, I have to store all of those photographs, and the decision that was made between the client and me, they have to be stored for 7 years. So those photographs are stored in the cloud. Do I have to put your photograph up on social media? Absolutely not. Now, here's the deal. It's written in our consent form that occasionally your photograph would be used for promotional purposes, and that is usually you can consent to that, or you can say I'd prefer not, Olive, and that's not a problem at all. It's when I'm filing the photographs away in the evening time and the lighting is really good, or the macro shot is particularly good, I'm using an iPhone to take photographs, and or whatever, and I kind of, oftentimes I think, oh my God, that's a perfect one now to put up on social media. And then if the client says no, well then obviously I can't put it up. So I have to check to make sure that the client is okay. And I do check with every client and say, listen, this is a particularly good photograph today, do you mind? And usually it's just the eye and the eyebrow, but nearly everybody's covered with a mask, these days anyway. So people wouldn't know you either way. But I just want to reassure you that you will not be forced into having your photograph on social media. So, yeah, it's okay to say no. In fact, you don't even need to tell me to say no, because it's in your consent form you fill out before you arrive to me, and you have the option to say yes or no there anyway. So you don't need to be embarrassed and say, Olive, I'd prefer not. If you prefer not, you prefer not. And that's perfectly fine. I have loads of photographs to put up. But oftentimes, and nearly every client would say, well, actually, the reason I booked in with you, Olive, is that I looked at your social media and I saw photographs up, and that was the basis on why I booked in with you. So they understand the importance of seeing the befores and afters anyway. So yeah, is that it? Am I finished? Oh yes. So then there was one lady, and I didn't take a particularly good photograph of the after, and it wasn't that the work wasn't good, it was just that the lighting wasn't great at the time, and even with a filter I couldn't bring up the brightness of the photograph, so I didn't put it up on social media. And she went home that evening sort of delighted with the brows and looking on my page, and she wasn't up, and she messaged me that night and she said, Olive, is it the way you didn't like the way you did the work on me? I'm not on social media this evening. She was really devastated. So there you go. It takes all sorts. So there you go. It does very much depend on whether it's a good photograph or not when I put them up on social media. So that's today's topic. Do you have to have your photograph on social media? No, not at all. Do I have to take photographs? Absolutely yes. It's an insurance requirement. They have to be stored for 7 years. Alrighty.